The 49ers Dallas game, we have still normalized that Jerry Jones is giving press conferences.
McCarthy's getting fired, right?
Yeah.
Just because he said he wasn't?
He's getting fired.
Jerry Jones is definitely thinking about firing him.
Jerry Jones. Okay, why do we have Jerry Jones as this cutthroat evil owner? He hung on.
He is.
He hung
History.
on. He hung on to Jason Garrett for like 5 years longer than anyone else would have.
Because
he was
Garrett
his
was willing to say whatever he wanted
Exactly.
him to say.
So is
Exactly.
Chris Whittingham, this is one of your worst takes
You guys
ever.
have Mike McCarthy as some kind of maverick that's not towing the company line with Jerry Jones? Mike McCarthy's going to be the coach for a decade.
What is his worst take?
Why do we think Jerry Jones is this like evil maniacal owner?
Okay, specifically with coaches. Like he's been incredibly lenient with coaches. He hung on to Dave Campo for 3 years longer than anybody else would have.
Just
A
because
great
he's bad
name.
at owning a team and managing his coaching staff doesn't mean that he's like this very.
Oh, no,
he's
he's-
not doing it for altruistic reasons.
Correct.
Lee.
I'm just saying, like, he wants to win the Super Bowl with a stooge of a coach. Yeah. Like he doesn't.
He already did with Barry Switzer.
He's not gonna pay $25 million a year for Sean Payton. He doesn't want Sean Payton to have all the credit. He wants to go up on that stage, win the Super Bowl, and like, hey, look, I won it with Mike McCarthy. That's what he wants.
We need to just stay right for a second on that final play, though. Zeke Elliott. Did you like him just getting bull rushed? It was just such a perfect chef's kiss for how that game needed
That's
to
his
end.
last play as a Cowboy at center. Like
'Cause
he
kinda
won't
like-
play for the Cowboys.
You saw
again.
him before that. He's kind of like, this is good. This is going to work. I'm center. I'm not eligible. This is great. Hike. Boom. Just like totally. Just fantastic.
I love the timeout that D'Amico Ryans took right before that. He's like, all right, if they do this again, if they do this shit again, we are giving Dak 0 time because we're sending 2 dudes at Zeke.
I love the idea of D'Amico Ryans looking to the opposite sideline and going, "You sure?
That's
You
what he was
sure?"
doing. He was looking at the opposite. He was on his tiptoes, like trying to see if Ezekiel Elliott would show up as an ineligible center once again.
It was like the Colts play all over again. It was great.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. Did someone place Mike McCarthy in an F-16? Like, what happened there?
I started liking Mike McCarthy. Not being able
Thank
to
you.
trust his kicker, he started being more aggressive because he couldn't kick the ball. And I was like, who's this new mavericky Mike McCarthy? Is
Maverick.
Is he going to win 2 Super Bowls? You had the weekend observation last week. What do we do if Mike McCarthy wins 2 Super Bowls? And I wasn't prepared to reconcile with that. And I'm very glad I don't have to.
F-16 seemed very tight.
They do. Yeah.
McCarthy, it would be a tight squeeze. It's a funny visual because that seems to be a very uncomfortable space.
He looks
Small.
like the 4-star general that's yelling at Maverick.
Right, but now imagine Sean Payton in an F-16. Oh, boy.
Maybe I'm projecting my own fear during that Cowboys game, but Dak Prescott looked scared on the sideline. Am I the only one that it really did look? He looked like a guy that was like rattled. He was like giving guys high fives like before that final drive, but it just like maybe like I said, I had a lot on the Cowboys, so I might be projecting here, but he looked scared on the sideline.
He didn't. With 45 seconds left, he went around the huddle and fist bumped everybody. I'm like, what are you doing? You have no chance. Your legacy is on the line. Everyone's going to hate you.
He hates Dalton Schultz, though. We can all agree, right? Dalton Schultz, please.
I want to go back for a second, though. I don't believe that Sean Payton looks better in the cockpit of a fighter plane than Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett looks more like the fighter pilot than Sean Payton does. Just sort of, you have to be lean. You have to have a bit of chiseled features that Sean Payton doesn't exactly have the chin that you need.
Are we talking Sean Payton or Kevin James Sean Payton?
This was the first time I watched the main Fox broadcast with sound on, without any other distractions going on. Greg Olsen is really good.
Everyone thinks so.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
excellent.
terrific.
Every tweet yesterday was about Greg Olsen to the point where I was like,
Really?
you know what? He's not that good anymore.
He was
I've read
awesome.
too many tweets praising him.
It was awesome.
It
What-
is rare to have a broadcaster
hater,
praised
Tony.
like that. The number of people that were going after Collinsworth on Saturday, like a real poisonous turn on Collinsworth. But I'm used to guys getting negative. Doris Burke and Greg Olsen are the only ones that almost every time they do a broadcast, I'm hearing, enthusiasm about how good they are, and they're going to replace him, right? I mean, Tom Brady, if Tom Brady ever retires.
That's funny.
I'm just saying there were reports. That,
don't make me laugh so early.
There were reports that $375 million is available to Brady if he's got to be the number one team. You're not going to put him on Colts Texans at 1:00 on a Sunday. That's the regional game.
I love pairing him with Chris Myers. And sending it to 6% of the country for Saints Jags 1:00 window.
Why is it that you're getting universal applause when in sports the broadcaster does not get that? Like,
well, I think
Dickie V was getting dragged this weekend.
Well, it's newness. It's newness. Like Greg Olson is very good, but like he hasn't annoyed us yet. And like a lot of people are given that berth. Tony Romo was given that berth, and now he's getting criticized. But it's newness, and I also think the very upper echelon of these guys are incredibly perceptive about everything. And there's that moment late in the fourth quarter where Dalton Schultz goes out of bounds. The referee winds the clock, and he knows straight away to go. He went out of bounds running backwards. That means you wind the clock. And I don't think anybody watching at home knew that rule. And it was the exact right analysis for that moment, and he brings that so many times throughout the game. It's a level of perception that only the very upper echelon of guys have.
Yeah, but the NFL changes the rules so often that he's not going to know the rules in 2 seasons.
That's a problem.
Exactly, Billy. That's what happened to Romo.
And the opposite of that was Burkhardt calling Elijah Mitchell Donovan Mitchell.